In him who loved us and freed us from our sins by his own blood, dear fellow redeemed, God's grace, mercy, and peace are yours from God our Father through Jesus the Christ. Amen. Several decades ago, a Lutheran wrote a book on Maundy Thursday and Good Friday events, and he gave the book the title, The Crucial Hours. The word crucial comes from the Latin word for cross, and we can certainly see how that's a fitting title then if you're talking about the events of Maundy Thursday and Good Friday. All of those events led to the cross of Jesus. In our use of that word, though, it tends to mean decisive or critical, a crucial decision, a critical decision. As we look this Lenten season at some critical hours, crucial hours surrounding the cross of Jesus, we will see many things that were not only critical, but essential for our salvation. Tonight, we're going to look at a crucial event for Peter. Twice, Jesus warned him. Once in the upper room and once on the way to Gethsemane of what was going to happen. Luke records Jesus' warning for Peter in Luke 22, verses 31 and 32, and that's our text for this evening. We read, the Lord said, Simon, Simon, pay attention. Satan has asked to have you all so that he may sift you as wheat. But I prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have returned to me, strengthen your brothers. Twice Jesus gave this warning to Peter. And maybe you've been through the Lenten season often enough that you know how this story ends. That Simon didn't heed the warning the Lord gave him. But let's take some time to look at the words of Jesus to Peter this evening. Notice Jesus called him Simon twice. Simon, Simon. Jesus was really trying to get Simon or Peter's attention. There are often where in the Bible where that double word is used to get someone's attention. Jesus would sometimes say, verily, verily, in good King James English, right? Verily, verily, I say to you. Truly, truly, I say to you. That was always in front of a very important teaching that Jesus was going to give. And so here it says, Simon, Simon, and then the Greek actually says, behold. But the EHV translation here is probably accurate because Jesus wanted Peter to pay attention to what he was about to say. And he revealed to Peter what Satan had done. Satan has asked to have you all so that he may sift you as wheat. May seem a little strange for us that Satan would ask God to be able to sift all of his disciples, but especially Peter. Well, we have another account in the Bible, that concerning Job, where there is a conversation between Satan and God over God's servant Job. God always sets limits to what Satan can do. But here we see that God gave Satan, in a sense, permission. He allowed Satan to sift the disciples and to sift specifically Peter. Why would God want that? Surely God's answer should have been no, right? No, you can't touch Peter. You can't have anything to do with him. But Jesus' warning here is that Satan has asked for it, and it's going to happen. In fact, if we were to read on, Jesus even revealed, Peter, you're going to fail. Before the cock crows twice, you're going to deny me 3 times. So what was God's purpose? Well, first of all, let's look at what is actually being asked here. It says, sift as wheat. The sifting of the wheat was the separation of the wheat from the chaff. Often when we talk about that, we talk about a winnowing fork where the wheat and the chaff are thrown up and the wind blows the chaff away. And you could say that's a rather gentle process. That's not what Satan requested of God for Peter. He specifically says to sift. And the sifting was a violent shaking of the wheat and the chaff so that the wheat would fall through the sift and the chaff would be left in the sieve. So what was Satan hoping to achieve? In this violent shaking of Peter, Satan was hoping that he would be able to separate Jesus from Peter. That was his goal. If I shake him hard enough, he'll let go of Jesus. God had a different purpose. God always intends good. Even when Satan intends evil in his plans, and God allows Satan's plans to go ahead, God is always intending good. And we could be even stronger than that. We could say God is always working good. Because God's plans always come true. So Satan intended evil for Peter, and he wanted to shake Peter so that Peter would let go of Jesus. God was going to allow Satan to shake Peter, not to let go of Jesus, but to let go of sin. If we were to look at the other events around this, Peter's faith was strong, but it wasn't strong in Jesus. It was strong in himself. When Jesus told the apostles, "You're all going to forsake me tonight, because it is written, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter." Peter swore that even if everyone else leaves you, Jesus, I will never leave you. I will go to prison and to death for you. Peter thought that his strength was strong. God needed to strip him of that sinful pride. God needed to move Peter's faith from himself firmly to Jesus. And so he put him in the sieve. And he let Satan shake him. And in one sense, he even let Peter fail. Because Peter was relying on his own strength. And then the broken Peter could be rebuilt. The broken Peter could grow to have a strong faith because it wouldn't be based on himself. It would be based on Jesus. Now that's an interesting thought, that a broken Peter could be strong in faith. Satan has plans for each and every one of you. And there are times where God is going to allow him to shake you and even for you to fail, so that your faith can rest in the right person. And there is somewhat of an irony to this, that from the greatest depths of brokenness, God can raise up the strongest believers. Think of David, the murderer and the adulterer, in the depths of sin, hiding it from God, or at least trying to. And yet of David, at the end of his life, God said he was a man after my own heart. God had raised him up from his brokenness and made him this pillar of faith. So that in Psalm 51 he says, "Let me have joy and gladness, let the bones you have crushed rejoice." Peter, the denier of Christ, would become the great spokesman of the early church. Paul, the murderer and persecutor of the church, would be God's great apostle to the Gentiles. So what are we to take away from this? No matter how broken we are in sin, no matter how low we may have fallen, we're never too low for God to pick us up. And we're never too crushed for him to put us back together. So if God were to throw you into that sieve, what sins would he be shaking loose or desiring to shake loose? Are you proud about your faith? Are you like Peter and think that you're stronger than anyone else, that there's nothing that could ever happen that would cause you to give up your faith in Jesus? If your faith is like Peter's, then it's in the wrong place. Maybe you're struggling with a personal sin. And I pray, if that's true, that God would put you in that sieve. You can't fight sin on your own in general. God surrounds you with Christians and pastors to fight that sin together. Standing alone is not an option, or it's not a good one at best. Confess your sin to someone. Get them on your side so that they can fight with you, to help you and support you in your struggle. Whatever is causing you to depart from God's will, get rid of it. Enter into that sift and let go of it. Don't let go of Jesus. Satan wasn't only after Peter that night. He was after Jesus. And we see the anguish that Jesus felt in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he understood what he was about to go through, the punishment that was about to come crashing down on his head. But never once did he fail. Never once did he give up God's will for his life. And he perfectly persisted all the way to the cross. So though he was tempted by Satan, he carried out the Father's will. And he did it for you and for me. For all the times that we have failed, Jesus succeeded. In every way that we have broken God's law, Jesus kept it. And he lived the perfect life that God desires of us all. And he did it for you. So that when your conscience comes and reminds you of the times that you've given in to temptation, Jesus wants you to look to him. He is where your faith rests. He is the one in whom your faith is, not yourself. So when Satan comes reminding you of your failings, accusing you, no longer look at yourself. Look to Jesus. Because it is true that you have failed. But it is just as true that Jesus has succeeded. And it is just as true that he has suffered for all of your sins. So when Satan tells you, you deserve to be in hell, that's true. But Jesus entered hell for you. And he suffered and died in your place so that all of your sins are forgiven, as true as they may be. And so John writes and he tells us, if our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts. And God has declared that in Jesus, all of your sins are forgiven. God loves you and sent Jesus to live and die for you. So there's going to be sifting. Satan is going to continue to ask, to tempt us, and to work harm for us. But God will work it for your good. Allow God to sift you of the sin in your life so that you cling to Jesus even more firmly. So this Lenten season, as we look at the crucial hours surrounding the cross, we're going to see some crucial things for us too. It's a chance for us to look at our lives and see where sin is holding us back and weakening our faith. And a chance to throw off the sin and cling to Jesus. May God bless us and keep our eyes firmly on Jesus until we're with him forever. In Jesus' name, amen. Please stand for the blessing. And now may the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard and keep your hearts and minds through faith in Christ Jesus until life everlasting. Amen.